Hey YouTube, welcome to Market Watch, your weekly, not weekly segment anymore. We're talking about the Digimon card game market. I want to go over a lot of new cards, and a lot of cards that we have been keeping our eyes on as well that have made some interesting movements. So if you guys enjoy this content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn that notification bell on to smash potatoes. That way you know when all these amazing Digimon videos go live. Omnimons. So, a keen observer might have noticed two things right off the get-go. The first thing you might have noticed is that Omnimon Zord defeats are back up in price. It would appear that deleting Mikey is a good thing. I don't know who would have thought that, but they were pretty cheap for a while. We told you guys to get them. Get this was under $30, get them. But now they're back up. The other thing that someone else may have observed is that Merciful Mode Alt Art is back. Well, never back up in price, but is up in price. A bunch of cheap listings were bought. Something happened, and all of a sudden, it's now the cheapest listing is $32. Yes, this is a decent card in the BT10 meta. Not everybody will play it, but some people will play it, and people I think know that. Now, I think the card will go back down in price soon, but it is quite expensive right now. So maybe take advantage of it if you can. I don't know. All right. One Piece Funkos. Really cool things. Now, I have nothing to say about these. This is my segue into one of those shillless plugs, I guess. I guess it's a shillless plug. This Wednesday, I am holding a One Piece cash tournament on stream at 7 p.m. Eastern. We did one last Wednesday and it went fine, so we're trying it again. And it'll only be Wednesdays until BT10 comes out, and then we're back to Digimon on Wednesdays. But, if you want to try the One Piece TCG, you should definitely consider playing in the tournament. It's only $10 entry. Cash is distributed via PayPal at the end. And that's really it. And for those of you that don't have cards because you're smart, you're not buying the pre-sale starter decks for ridiculous amounts of money, don't worry about it because we are allowing proxies. You can play proxies. You just cannot, they have to be readable. They have to be legible. That's all. That's the requirement. As long as you're following the rules, you're playing only legal cards, which are starter deck cards, and a couple promos. As long as you're doing that and everything is fine, you're following the rules, great. So yeah, it's not really a shillless plug. Yeah, I'll get some Twitch views out of it, but the 100% of the money is going back out, basically, when fees are taken out. So there you go. That's the story on the One Piece tournaments. And if you guys want to participate, join. Join my Discord. That's where you find the link to it. Speaking of pre-sales, there's no reason for this card to be $14. Do not buy the pre-sales. Don't do it. Don't give in to any of these people. Just take a moment, relax, and wait. It's a couple weeks away. Just be patient. Just calm down. It's gonna be okay. I promise. Death X-Mons are back up. They are back up. You remember the few listings last week that were like $60 and cheaper? Yeah. Well, people took advantage of the $60 listings, and now we're back up to, what is this, $66? Hopefully you guys took advantage of that. If you bought enough, can make some quick flips or something. I don't know. But yeah, make sure you have your Death X's before it even goes up higher. There's only 20 listings. And there's not a lot of listings before it hits $70. So there you go. Kumamon Event Pack 3. This is just your general reminder to not indulge yourself in the Event Pack 3 cards yet, because there's not enough Event Pack 3 out, and they're expensive for no reason. So just chill out. It's going to be okay. Alright, Alphamon Alternate Art. We are going to cover some different cards on this Market Watch. Cards we don't usually cover. I don't know where people are coming from, where these comments are coming out of the woodwork, but people are saying, we only cover the same cards all the time, blah, 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 blah. There's no variation, there's no different cards, it's the same group of cards, So, well, it's not true. I will generally appease to, some people. And, there are some cards we could talk about that we barely ever talk about, or that we've never talked about. So, we're going to cover some new stuff. Why not? Starting with this Alphamon Alternate Art. We haven't covered this card in a long time. Why I'm mentioning this Well, when BT10 comes out, we're getting the Ghost, or the special rare Alphamon alternate art. That's technically the max rarity. This is no longer max rarity. So this card is going to drop in price. So don't buy him. Don't do that. Agumon pre-release card stamp, the black one, will no longer be max rarity in a couple of weeks, or in a week, because we're getting a new one. Different art, fun stuff. So no reason to grab this card. Millenniumon. We do bring up Millenniumon once in a while, but this is the max rarity version of it. It's the only Millenniumon we have. And we do know, according to the anime and whatever, that there is a higher form of Millenniumon. Something that goes right on top of it, basically. So, for $5 each, nice little cheap stock, basically, to hold on to. Grab some, and you'll probably get rewarded when the time comes that we feel like Millenniumon support is something Bandai wants to do. Tyrannomon alternate art from the Classic Collection. This card plays Taiga when you evolve it. And as you guys know, there's a new Taiga coming out. So, it caused this card to go up in price. I think we covered it briefly when it happened. Or maybe on the stream we did. But I don't think that the Tyrannomon support is really worth it. It doesn't seem that good. And a card like this is interesting, though, because every time you get a new Taiga, this is one of those cards that will go up in price. So maybe try to get this card for cheaper than $13. Set on them, wait for the next wave of Tyrannomon support, or even wait for BT11 to come out. People might get reinvigorated and rehyped, causing this card to go back up in price. That's what I would do if I cared enough about the Tyrannomon support. I don't really care enough about it. Gaomon. We officially have a super rare higher than Cool Boy again in BT9. Just regular, rare, super rare Gaomon. It's climbing up in price. People know that Black War Greymon is the way in BT10, a very viable strategy. And it's over $5 now for copies of it. So if you got them while you were cheap, kudos to you. That was the correct decision to make. Gammon New Awakening pre-release tournament promo card. So unless this card gets a reprint, if Gammon ever takes off, like for real, this card will go up in price. Because you do play some number of this card depending on how invested you are in the Judgment of the Blade strategies. That's all. That's all. Something you might want to make sure you have. It's only a few bucks. Grab a playset, whatever. Call it a day. Kamiya. A card we really haven't covered that much. We covered it when this buyout happened, when the All-Force support was announced, but not again since. We said to wait, and hopefully waited because it's back down to basically where it was. Definitely not a bad card to grab at $4 or $5 each, because, you know, it'll get rehyped again at some point. Cheap tamer. Draws cards. Pretty freaking good if you ask me. I'd probably make sure you have your copies of this card. I've been saying that for a while, but we'll talk about it enough. Another card we don't talk about enough is this Gatomon from the Mastermon starter deck. That is a $5 card in a starter deck that you can still get. I don't know if you've seen the Mastermon starter deck card list, if it wants to load, but there's the Mastermon, which really isn't that expensive, and it's getting a reprint, by the way. Getting a max rarity version of this card coming out soon. But you do get the 2 Chaos Degradations, a couple cool cards like Junomon, that has a max rarity coming, by the way, Darkness Wave, Andromond. So there's some interesting stuff in this deck. Cards like Late Devimon even. We know that BT11 we're getting a lot of Late Devi and Andromond support. Yeah, I think you guys will notice that. It's very possible that if this card doesn't get a reprint, it could cause an effect on these starter decks. Maybe make sure you have your starter decks. Not necessarily like, you know, buy just the Gatomons, right? Because there's 2 Gatomons in a starter deck. They equal $5 to $10 together. The starter deck is $12. There's no reason not to buy the starter decks. So just grab starter decks. Make sure you have Gatomons if you have any faith in yellow-purple support. Which, let me tell you, yellow-purple support doesn't appear to be going on the back burner anytime soon. Ancient Garurumon alt art, we never cover this card, but it's cheap, it's $13. If Ancient Garurumon gets a whiff of support, this thing shoots right up in price. Maybe you try to grab it for $10 if you can. It hit a low of, what, 11 something. If you guys can get it for a few bucks cheaper, a couple bucks cheaper, I think you do that, and you just sit on it, because any breath of support is a strategy could cause this card to go up in price. It's an alt art in a set that had 3 secret rares. It's worth talking about. Tankmon. I don't know why you'd want to buy this card. It does nothing anymore. It's been power crept in every single black deck that's ever seen play. But if you want a cool little alt art, yeah, do that. Do that. Sure, why not? Yeah, grab it. All right. Makinori Event Pack is sitting at $10, and it's been on a steady decline. It's not a bad card to kind of sit on. If we ever get formats again where, like, Rookie Rush is a viable strat, you could drop Magna and shut it down. So maybe that causes the card to go back in price eventually. Until then, though, with BT10 and BT11, it doesn't look like that's the way going forward. So maybe wait a little bit. Don't buy them yet, but you can probably get it for really cheap while Event Pack 2 is still technically being distributed. And maybe some money off it down the road. This Wizardmon, I haven't talked about it enough, but it's getting reprinted in the Beelzemon Star deck when we get that. I don't think there's any reason to buy this card now unless you want to play Beelzemon now. And that's it. That's all I want to say on that. Digimon. It's a card that, you know, is good. It trashes cards. And for the cards removed from security stack, it burns the security stack. It's theoretically a good card, right? So if Digimon gets a breath of support, you know, these listings could disappear. It could happen. Digimon doesn't seem like something that seems to get a lot of support, and not a lot of people talk about it. But it's a Digimon card, and we are getting Digimon support in BT11. You know what I mean. Just keep your eyeballs on this card. Magna Andromonds are next on the list. As you guys can see, they're going down in price. Probably because of the new gold rare Magna Andromonds that were revealed in the thing. They are going down, though, as a result. People will probably consider the gold rare one the max rarity. I don't know, I'm still a fan of this art. I really am. But regardless, it does seem to be going down in price. So maybe, you know, grab them for a few bucks cheaper than this if you can and call it a day. If you like this artwork of this card, this one I'd probably just not worry about right now. If you want him, it's gonna go down in price. I'd probably wait a little bit. But nobody will consider this max rarity when it finally comes out, the gold rare one. No one. Judge Pack cards. As far as I know, the Judge Pack 1 is still being distributed, but I feel like there's a shelf life on that doesn't last much longer. So maybe hold off a little bit longer if you can, and then go from there. Fly Bullet hasn't really changed much of price. It's still like a $20 to $23 card. Keep in mind, I'll say this a couple more times and I'll stop covering the card altogether. It will go up in price when this whole premium starter deck is but a thought of your imagination, and when Beelstar gets support again and Fly Bullet's good. This card will be expensive one day. Mark my words. Crimson Blaze. It's done. You had your chance, and I hope you took advantage of it, because now it's practically a $40 card for the Max Ready version of it. So there you go. And Samadhi Santi seems to be down back in price a little bit. You have some time to grab the card for cheap if you want to. That's it for this week's Market Watch, or this Monday's Market Watch. I really gotta get used to that. Oh my goodness. That's it for this Monday's Market Watch. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Did you like covering all these, cards we don't really talk about? Anything that I missed? Let me know. Bye.